Okay, guys, what we're gonna do now is either on your phone, like on the notepad on your phone or wherever, um, name about 7 to 10 artists that you feel that you sound like, and then what I want you to do is either get friends, and maybe even not so much friends, but like someone distant, but still knows the genre of music that you're in, to also listen to your music and list off 7 to 10 artists that they feel you sound like. You're going to list off yours, but you sort of have a bias because you are you. Uh, your person that you're using as sort of a helper in this experiment that's going to tell you 7 to 10 artists that they feel you look like is obviously a little less biased because they didn't make the music and they really don't have any big connection to it. Friends are okay, but the tricky thing with friends is that if they know you, they sort of know what you're trying to do and who you're trying to sound like. So there might be a little bit of inadvertent shadiness going on there, or for lack of a better way of putting it, just because they might sort of subconsciously or maybe consciously tell you what you want to hear based on them knowing you and your influences and what you're trying to do. So be careful with that. Here's an awesome little caveat, and we'll talk a little bit more about this as well. But I guess not a caveat, but a little kind of tip and trick, a little pearl, if you will. Jump on Facebook groups, but really as time moves on, I'm sure other social media platforms will kind of come and go and change, and there'll be different trends. Go where your people are. And what I mean by that is if you look on my YouTube, one of the first videos I ever posted was a video of me at Ultra Music Fest. I didn't even have a ticket. I went down to Ultra. I hung out outside where there were thousands of people. I had 2 of my tracks on my phone, and I had a set of headphones on my phone, and I had extra battery chargers in my back pocket. I literally walked up to people, asked them if they would want to give me 30 seconds of their time, listen to my track while I record it because I was trying to get signed. Most people were pretty down with it, and all I did was basically record it with a second cell phone or a GoPro or whatever you have to capture their opinions. So that is a really good way of doing like actual face-to-face marketing, but you can sort of do the same thing where people are. Like for example, um, any big festival that offers a Facebook group, I would be in there. And you don't want to make, and here's the big thing, don't make the common mistake that so many average DJs make of being like, here's my mix, and they just post it, or like, here's my track, and they just post it. That's going to get you kicked out of the group, and nobody likes that because it's not engaging. Here's what I did. A lot of my music, at least right now, is very tropical, and it has a lot of kind of groove and funky, tech housey, tropical house kind of things going on, and future bassy kind of steel drum stuff going on. So what I did was in these groups, and there was a bunch. There was EDC official, there was EDC for that particular year, like EDC 2020, and then of course next year EDC 2021, 2022, and all that. There was UMF official, UMF 2020. There was also for EDC the solo journey for anybody who was going to EDC alone, which was a great way to kind of make friends and get people who are already feeling a little bit on the outs because they're going to EDC alone, like they could make a friend with me by chatting it up. And they did, and it was great because I grew my fan base that way, and I'll get deeper into that. But basically look for any groups that you know are posted on daily. Don't just go down the line and join any group that has the word house music or EDM or whatever in it. You want to join groups that actually are active every day. The groups that are usually active every day are usually ones that are a result of an event that happens every year. So there's the EDC official, of course, post in there, and I'll show you how. There's also the EDC solo journey for a lot of people having questions about what to do attending EDC alone. Same thing with Ultra. There's also the camping aspect of a lot of these festivals. Go in there. A lot of people have questions about what to bring, what not to bring. Should they just camp in their car? Should they get an Airbnb? What about travel arrangements? There's a lot of different groups because festivals are technical. So there's fitness journey ones. So a big trend in EDM is a lot of us show a lot of skin and have to get, kind of our bodies ready for the festival kind of mode. So join a fitness journey, and there's nothing wrong with showing people your progress and letting them know that you're a DJ. Um, so here's what you want to do. You want to go into these groups, and you actually want to provide value by caring. So somebody's coming with a cart, and it's just going to mess up this video. So what you want to do is you want to go into the groups, and like I was saying with my music, it was somewhat tropical. So I would go into these groups and I would say, where are all my tropical people at? Where's my tropical rave fam at? And what would happen is I would have dozens and dozens of people like it, comment it, and I would play dumb, and even not playing dumb, because I didn't feel I had a strong hold on everybody who does tropical music. So I'd say, what are some great tropical playlists? What are some great tropical artists to look up? And I would have dozens and dozens of comments of people who are passionate about tropical EDM or tropical house or whatever, listing off artists, which will come in handy in a minute, and then also showing me that they would likely be into what I do. So now what happens is I go in there, and for each and every comment, I strike up a convo. I ask them what their social media usernames are, and we connect and become friends. This is how you build a fan base, 10 fans a day, every day, and get to like your first 1,000. Don't just go in there and post your mix, because nobody wants to click play on your mix. They don't know who you are, they don't care. But if they know that you're looking for tropical house recommendations, that's a very easy way to kind of catch people sort of in your web, and actually, not even to sound cynical, but like get them into what you're doing and have an actual conversation and make them your friend. Now, the other thing about that, and like connecting with them on social media, the other thing about that is they will list off artists. If you're like, hey, what are some really good artists in tropical house? I'm trying to get deeper into it. They're going to list off artists. You're going to take those artists and you're going to start to build a audience insight on Facebook for your ads. So if you make tropical music, you're going to look at all these suggestions and you're going to make an audience based on that. Then you're going to look at your suggestions, your 7 to 10 artists, and build an audience based off of that. Then you're going to take your friends' suggestions of their 7 to 10 artists that they feel that you sound like, and make an audience for Facebook ads based off of that. Hopefully that makes sense. The reason why I'm not showing this to you in detail is because Facebook and social media in general, the platforms change, and where they put the buttons to do all of this, it changes. And so really the best thing I can do is guide you and tell you what to do. And then from there, I hate to say this, but it really will cause you less aggravation to just go out and seek out, like, okay, so Mikey said create an audience in Facebook business or Facebook ads manager based on my own thoughts of what I sound like, my friends' thoughts of what I sound like, and what other people say tropical artists are, and create the artist that way. How do you do that? Look it up and just see. I know that sounds like the crappy way out, but here's the thing about this that I want you to understand, because you're not seeing it from the other end. If I were to show you how to do that right here, right now, in a year or 2 or 3, the way to do that is going to change. And I don't want people to watch an outdated video saying, man, you told me to click on audience insights, and that was in the top left of the business manager corner on Facebook. And now, a year later, it's actually in a drop-down menu in the top right corner. I just didn't know that because you didn't tell me that. So it's really for your own good to save on confusion, but it's also kind of some tough love in a way, not too much, but in a way, because really, if you're not getting comfortable clicking around within the Facebook ads manager in the Facebook business platform on how to run ads, you're not really helping yourself anyways, because it is scary, I guess, at first, and it is a lot, but it's just like anything in life. Like, if you don't get out there and really learn to drive, you're always going to be fearful of the highway. And there's really no reason to be, as long as you're careful. And that's really the same with this. Don't be afraid to click around and find what I'm talking about and Google and YouTube it, because if you're depending on specific instructions and directions, it's going to change anyways, and it's just going to serve as a frustrating point because you're going to be trying to follow along with me perfectly, and it's not going to work out. So let's go over the rules again. Get yourself a business page on Facebook for your DJing. Okay, make sure that you have a commercially competitive product, music, that sounds really good. It doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. What I mean by sounding really good is that the production should not be lacking, and if you need help with that, get help with it. The mixing should be undoubtedly wonderful. If there's any shortcomings in the mix, or like you can't A-B your track with another commercially competitive track in your genre, and it's not sounding more or less the same, or at least in the ballpark, you missed the mark. You got to go back and get help with that. Same thing with your mastering. If your tracks aren't as loud as other tracks in your genre, please, for the love of God, go back and get help with it, because you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot before you've even had a chance to run the race. So Facebook page, Facebook business page, a great product, a great music, and then go into audience insights and begin to build out your audiences that you're going to run these ads to. So your 7 to 10 artists, that's an audience. Create new audience. That audience is going to be your friends' 7 to 10 artists that you sound like. That's an audience. So you have two now. You have yours, you have your friends, who you think you sound like, who your friend thinks you sound like. Third audience is going to be after you've joined all these different groups that are active daily, and you've done some homework and found ways to engage people, yet also get them into you and find out information like artists that they like that you think you sound like. Excuse me, you're going to take those artists, provided there's no overlap of those artists in your friends list or your list, and you're going to use that as a third audience to run ads to. I hope that makes sense to you. If you have any questions about that, you're more than welcome to either check out the Facebook community that I have on this, or just email me. It's probably best, though, if you want a quick answer, to jump on the Facebook community. And that's not the worst thing in the world either, because that gives you a chance, once again, to network, meet new people, and possibly develop a friendship that could be a business relationship. So go do that. I'll see you in the next video, and we're going to get it rocking real soon. So get ready, guys.